What's up, guys? This is Jesse, and in today's video, we are going to talk about some big developments that might be difficult to understand if you're not dealing with AI every day or if you're still just learning it. And this is a video that should help give you perspective on what we see in the news and make sense of it, which might not be super clear. So let's get into it. So this week is going to be one of the biggest weeks of AI announcements all year. And that's because there's some big events from Microsoft, there's some big events from Google, and there's already been some big announcements from OpenAI. And then there's also been some big announcements coming out of China. So that's kind of where I want to focus this, because if you pay attention to mainstream media, there's going to be a lot of fear-based energy, and it's going to feel very Cold War era, like the space race or something like that. And now it's the AI race. But there's a dynamic here that if you're a business owner, it shouldn't scare you. It should make you feel like something good is happening. And what that dynamic is that generally now, China is taking on the role and I guess responsibility of leading the way with open source AI models. That's what happened with DeepSeek R1. We have a long video that I did on that one. That's the model that came out and basically broke the internet and broke the stock market because it was a super advanced, apparently cheap to produce model. So why that's important is because we can assume that this type of development is going to continue. It's almost like the Chinese AI companies keep putting out open source models in AI that are either text-based models or image-based models or video-based models. And they're doing it and releasing it open source because that's what you do when you're behind in a race with technology. It's called going scorched earth. You basically release something that everybody can have. And by default, that makes it so that people can go download the model. They're not running it to a server so that there's no like TikTok-esque issue with data privacy and stuff. And people can just download the models and use them. And that's actually good news if you're the little guy, because that means that really, really advanced models that have potentially had billions of dollars put behind them to be developed become available and proliferate the entire world. So that means that like underdeveloped countries get access to them. That means that small development teams can get access to these models in countries that you wouldn't expect or typically or historically would not have had an opportunity in the global tech market, right? So again, if we're watching mainstream news sources, it's going to feel warlike, which is not good. That kind of thing is expensive, and that kind of thing is not conducive to good business, as we've seen. So when you see this news, when you see things coming out of China talking about like, oh, they've just destroyed the AI market or whatever, next week, one of the big American companies will drop something that they've been holding on to for events like this. And that is also good for you, because then that means that like really accessible tech remains a mainstay in US markets. So like that's going to keep OpenAI in a situation where they have to keep releasing really, really good technology and keeping it at an accessible price point, like $20 a month ChatGPT. It's a great deal. So whether it's OpenAI and ChatGPT, or it's the Google models, which Google has kind of slowly and steadily been winning the AI race. If you look up something called Alpha Evolve, Google announced this development out of their lab DeepMind, which is essentially or arguably the best AI lab in the world. They released that they've had a self-improving AI for the past year, basically, and that's the reason why their models are so good. But they're also very affordable because of that dynamic. So it really is a beneficial dynamic for small business owners. You're not going to get that take on any of the major mainstream news channels whichever one you prefer. they're all they're all just selling you something, guys. But if you want the real deal, you have to sit back and think, like, what is the non-emotional aspect of this that's just true? And what that is in this case is that China is in a situation where they do have to play catch up. It's better for them, I guess, if everybody has access to the models and the US can't just pull out. I guess that's the big preventative measure being taken when you go scorched earth with the open source models, is you're preventing the people that already have the lead from pulling away in the race too much. So that's just fine. That makes it so that there's competition in the market, and competition in the market is good. So the basic thesis here is don't buy into fear-based energy. There's plenty of that everywhere else in geopolitics and the affairs of the world right now. It's just like, it's a scary place to be, planet Earth that is, these days. But at least in the AI side of things, if you're a small business owner, this is your greatest opportunity of your lifetime, and you do have to keep an eye on it. And also, it's like, that's the only thing within your control. Like, all of this other stuff that is very frightening isn't in your control anyway. So you can either argue with people on Facebook and argue with strangers, or you can pay attention to something that is actually within your control that will actually benefit your life. And just in my opinion, that perspective on kind of the AI race, it's like the space race again. It's like, no matter who's winning on a given day, if you're the kind of consumer grade AI user that has a small business, you win no matter who's winning at the big leagues. So that's cool. That's great news, right? So if you want to learn more things like this, we have a community called AI for Jewelers. We are getting ready to announce some pretty cool partnerships. We've been doing some work behind the scenes. There's just so much going on. That's kind of why I have not been as visible. But if you don't see me, I always say to the people that are in our circle, if you don't see me for a little bit, there's usually something big that goes down after that. And that is certainly the case here. So check out AI for Jewelers. I keep saying we're going to turn subs on soon, and it absolutely is coming. It's really just a matter of admin. I'm not trying to like put pressure on anybody. It's just like we're putting out the absolute best content related to AI and business development in the jewelry industry, period, right now. So, if you want to feel good about what's going on, if you want an alternative message to kind of the state of the nation, we need to save the trade, kind of like fear-based stuff from people peddling their natural diamonds, and you want to see the good news as to what opportunity you do have, we don't even care about saving the trade, to be honest. It's a matter of like, we're here to pull up the industry by its bootstraps. So if you want to be a part of that, and you believe that there's going to be a jewelry industry regardless of what happens with natural diamonds, which we've seen the data, we know it's happening, jewelry is not going anywhere. And AI-powered e-commerce for jewelry is going to be a miracle. So if you want to be a part of that, that's the good news. And that's what we're doing at Jewelers Advantage. So check out AI for Jewelers. I'm going to put a link below. This will become a subscription community soon. So, if you want to be grandfathered in for free for life, and if you got any value out of that idea of the AI race, there's something like that every week dropping in the group. And I do believe that we are putting out the very best education in the industry for AI for jewelry. So come check out AI for Jewelers. This is Jesse at Jewelers Advantage, and I'll see you there.